What's good, superstars? Back with another Veve video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going?
Good, you?
Putting on our thinking hats, figuring out how we can sell out every single drop on Veve. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know whenever we post some brainstorming videos like this one. You can also become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button underneath the video. Get one of these stars next to your name. Level up through the stars. If you won something last month and you have not gotten it, is because we do not have your wallet address. We have reached out to every single person who has won something. We've been slowly getting in the wallet addresses, but please respond to our messages. You can also follow us on X, follow us on Instagram. You can DM us there, but you can also join the Discord where we are very active and have a bunch of different channels, a Veve channel, and all other kinds of channels for all projects. The mesh, it is the mesh of the Web3 space, our Discord.
So many amazing chats, so many amazing people. Make sure you join the Discord. And remember, this is how we run all our gifting programs. If you use any of our links on this channel, please let us know so that we can gift you possibly something at the end of the month. We do our Superstar Utility Program.
Yep. I wanted to bring up a couple things. First thing I wanted to talk about was yesterday's video Rob did about the Spider-Man Series 2 Marvel Mighties drop. He talked about maybe the difference in quality between some of the newer Marvel Mighties versus some of the older Marvel Mighties. I want to give my take on that because I agree with you, Rob. I think that there has been a drop-off in the Marvel Mighty qualities. I mean, if you look back at the earlier Mighties, they're really well done. The eyes are looking in a certain direction. Just the posing, everything just seems like it was more well thought. And just you can tell it's also a different artist who is doing these. I mean, just even by the eyes, you can tell that it's a different artist. And then when we get up to the more recent Mighties, you can tell, like looking at Doctor Strange's eyes, he got like a colored rim around the pupil. They just don't look right. They look off. Some of them are good, like the ones that don't have proper eyes, like the Iron Man, really good one, but it's not as consistent as it was originally. So I really appreciate you talking about that in the video, and I totally agree with you.
Joe, I really like that Thanos one. Can you? I don't know if you can click that. I'm a huge fan of this one. I didn't even think of using this as an example, but like, look at the quality of this one. This is insane. You have the helicopter, which in and of itself is already like an accessory to the Marvel Mighty. You have gold hands. You have the crinkle in the chin, the creases. You have the blue eyes. Like, you could tell that they put a lot of time and effort into perfecting this one. Now, I don't know if you can cancel out of this and go to one of the recent ones that we just talked about in the last video.
Yeah,
the eyes are kind of like going crazy, right? Like,
yeah, you can even start to see it on Scarlet Witch here. The Doctor Strange one. I mean, it's different. It's different than what, like, even on the Venomized, obviously they just did an overlay on those ones, but I don't know.
I guess they haven't dropped yet, the ones that we just talked about from the Spider-Man 2.
That one, yeah, I have those here too. Like, look at this one. This one here, Peter Parker. I mean, this one's all right, but again, it doesn't have those type of eyeballs. That's one I really don't like, the Silk, and I think that's a FA, the Silk collectible. The consistency is not there. The eyes, man, that's what it is. It's the eyes that throwing me off completely on these things.
That one there is, like, I think the most prominent with eyes.
Yeah, the Rhino.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's different. It's different. It's definitely not something. I don't know if because the drops are smaller now in size, maybe it costs more to do them a little bit more premium. So they know they brought down the edition size. Maybe when they go to tender out for the designers, maybe they have to pick the person with the lowest price rather than somebody that they've been using before. I'm not sure how it works exactly in the background, but yeah, I think it's pretty obvious and evident that there has been a change in our team when it comes to the Mighties.
I don't know if like with this here too, is it because people don't really care? I mean, we noticed this before. People never really cared too much about the quality of the collectible.
True.
If it was good quality, it had no effect. If it was bad quality, then it had a negative effect. But in the end, why are people buying these things? A lot of people are buying them for investment reasons. So does it really matter if it looks bad or not? As long as it's an FA, as long as it's a chase item, as long as it's scarce, people will buy them for a good flip. So I think that's also part of the reason.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that in this video when it comes to how Veve can sell out every single drop. Wanted to bring this up because if you are in the Cryptoids project, they do these completion bonuses where if you're able to complete the entire set before a certain snapshot date, then you are able to receive the chase item or the completion item, which in this case for Star Wars Volume 3 is going to be Boba Fett. They're making you a reminder now because they do have that third-party marketplace available, which means you can teleport your Cryptoys out into your MetaMask wallet. If your Cryptoys are in your MetaMask wallet, they will not count towards the snapshot. They have to be on the Cryptoys website in the Cryptoys wallet to get that snapshot. Then once that happens, you can bring them out and do whatever you want with them again. So if you want to get the snapshot for the Boba Fett and you have that series, make sure you have them all in your Cryptoys wallet on the Cryptoys website.
Yeah, and I mean, Cryptoys does a good job as well getting the word out. But if you haven't seen this tweet, make sure you guys import your stuff back in if you do have a complete set. I feel like those who have a complete set will not make that mistake because they'll be on top of the project. They'll be on top of the socials.
Hopefully.
So just make sure you guys do it.
You got to check out Button Cheeks' latest Redneck Inspiration. It's amazing. He's got a fanny pack in there, some new pants. Amazing. So definitely go check this out. I'm not going to play with sound. I want you guys to go give him the view, but he's doing great work, and he's already up to 66 of these. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow. That's insane. I mean, this is hilarious. Look at him at the farm. Amazing.
Pinnacle got a new drop coming. It is a Monsters ink drop. It is very, very good looking. Some beautiful colorways on these pins. 50 USD limited editions. So
yeah,
dropping July 11th tomorrow.
Yeah, that 50 is pretty scarce, but definitely high quality pins for sure.
$50, not 50.
Yeah.
Edition.
$50. It's open mint.
No, limited edition.
Editions,
I'd have to check Diamond's post. He has all the details on there. So
yeah. All right. I mean, those pinnacle pins have always been top of the charts on the price. And I know the limiteds tend to do they end up being pretty scarce because they're pretty expensive. But these ones at least got pretty high quality on them. Consistent
high quality. That's something that for sure they have. Another thing I want to bring up, you talked about yesterday's video, and it kind of leads into today's video. So we're going to bring up a couple posts that we've seen on X relating to the topic, and then we're going to talk about them, and then we're going to give our own feedback. But Veve fans, shout out to you for putting out this post in response to, I guess, Comics and Crypto posted about something related to something that was deleted about the Chaser collectible. So Veve fan says, yes, it's called a Chaser, but Veve needs to realize this drop style has no beneficial long-term value. That only creates a gambler style drop. The Disney Pixar up drop is a clear indication that 98% of Veve users that went for the up lost value instantly. In fact, 86% that bought the drop at retail for $28 saw their collectible drop to $3.65. If Veve continues to do drop sizes like this, people will stop buying at retail. This Marvel Mighty drop is even worse. The Chaser has a really ridiculous low chance of hitting 0.8%. There is a pretty good chance, 99.2%, buying the Marvel Mighty next week will see value drop instantly. This is a collector's app, not a gambler's app. Rob, I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I think you have to be careful there, Veve fans. And of course, we respect your opinion. But I see it a little bit different. I think Veve here is actually a business app. It's an app that they're in the business of making money. So Veve's sitting there saying, well, how can we sell our drops out? And let's be real. If they do a drop where the min sizes are evenly distributed and you didn't have the secret rare to common, would people really buy that much of this? I think that the gambling aspect is actually part of the reason why they're able to sell out drop. They need to have chase items in order to sell the whole drop out, because if the common was by itself, it may not be purchased and it may not perform very well. But when you combine it in a blind box format with a chase item, a scarce chase item that will be high value, that people know if they land it, they can flip it for a lot more than they paid. You start getting people saying, you know what, I'm willing to risk 50, because in their mind, it's like, if it's zero, it's like true gambling. It's like, if I put 50, if I get this collectible, it's like I burned all my money. I just got zero, but I have a chance at getting something that could be worth 3,400 gems, right? So I think that Veve has to be a gambling app in order to sell their drops out, because there isn't any meaningful utility right now to do with these collectibles.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Basically, right now they're catering to their current user base, and their current user base are gamblers. It's just proven facts of what has happened over time. I mean, until there is a reason for us to hold collectibles that aren't super duper scarce compared to the number of users on the app, they have to do things to cater towards the current numbers on the app. And one of those things is having super duper scarce items that you can only get if you were to land the drop, or you want to spend exuberant amount of money to have them in your collection because you really like the IP. Obviously, when you have a combination of scarcity and well-liked IP, it's obviously something that people might want to chase down a little bit more. And when it's something that only certain people can get into, we saw that recently with the Banksy inspired drop. Only people with 1 million MCP could get into that drop, right? So that gave it that level of exclusivity. We see with the gold and silver Veve logos, unless you get a card from David Yu or Dan themselves, you can't get into that club unless you spend exorbitant amount of money. There's other ways to make things prominent and people to want them, but other than that, the only real way for them to keep drops entertaining for people or having a chance to get them is to have these super duper scarce items. Now, I understand your point as well here, because 98% versus 2% or 99% versus 1% is a pretty big disparity. Could there be a better ratio? I don't know. Maybe it would still work. Maybe they could test it with 5% and see how that goes. Maybe they've already done that. Maybe they've done the numbers and they're like, it has to be like this scarce. I don't know how they decide on their scarcity mint number. But it seems as though what they've been doing recently, where they make it exclusive with the MCP points, or where they try to help burn the commons by having a crafting event, they kind of might be working towards something that might work in the future. Maybe they'll have burns for everything except for the secret rare, and then that'll help to keep people interested in the drop. So they have ways to pivot, but I do think in the meantime, while there is no utility beyond AR, they have to cater towards a gambler's app, because just right now that's what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be more specific than that, Joe. I know what you mean by gambler's app, but really at the core of it, it's an investor's app, right? This is what we've observed. We've been doing videos now for over 2 years, right? So like we've been doing videos now for a long time. We've observed the Veve fam on Twitter, and we've observed the space in general, the NFT space in general. And ultimately, I think people are mainly interested in price appreciation. You do have a niche group of people that may actually just generally be interested in collecting digital assets. But I think that, the majority of people are truly interested in the flipping aspect or the investment aspect, that these at some point in the future may be worth a lot more money. And this is what we've seen in terms of comments. People care about value like crazy. So that's why we say this when we say things like it's a gambling app, it's an investor's app. We're saying this because this is what we've observed for the data for the current user base. And that's because there is no utility, right? That's because there is nothing you can do with these. You don't have the people saying, oh, what can I do with these things? You could project them in AR. Honestly, it's not that attractive for most people. It has to be better than that. So they got to tailor it to them by doing these drops where it's super scarce. It has to be a chase item. So the question then says, well, how can Veve sell out every drop? The problem is not sustainable, because if you keep doing a chase item of 88, let's say, mints, what ends up happening is you do 10 of these. And slowly over time, these now become less of a draw. It becomes more common to have these 88 mint collectibles. And people start wondering, is it really worth the chase? Is 88 mints really that scarce? Now, Joe, I'll let you jump in.
Yeah, so basically we had another comment here. These are separate comments on different posts, nothing to do with each other. And it's just, this is the sentiment around the community. So we like to bring it all together in one place. This is from Prop Chromageddon on Twitter. Solution to fix the super scarcity issue on Veve: blind boxes at $13 to $20 plus with a chaser of 5 to 10% chance to hit it. Separate drop for the super rare piece from the same series, 80 editions or lower. However, this drop price is $100 plus. You want scarce and premium, then pay for it. You're welcome. I think this leans more towards what you were just saying there, Rob, about how if we repeat the same thing over and over again, you take away from the things already in existence. Because we know that we've seen this before. We have an example right here. Actually, we did a video on it, so I'll just pull that up. The most overpriced item on Veve. This was taken. We did this video 2 years ago on March 28th, 2022, and the price of ASM 252 at the time was $3,280. So 3,280 gems for ASM 252, the common variant. And our thesis in this video was that Veve is going to drop more scarce items, and that's going to take away from ASM 252 being that 1000 comic edition item. And they have done that. There has been multiple 1000 edition items dropped on Veve to the point that we are now at 450 gems for the common variant base price. You got to remember, a lot of this price is baked in. People don't like selling things for 99% losses. So if this were to come out in today's market, it might be closer to the pricing that we're seeing on some of these other 1000 edition comics. But regardless, going from 3000 whatever to 450, big drop. And that is because there has been other scarce items dropped on that.
It's actually not 450. The last sale happened 30 days ago at 350. So the last actual sale was 350. These 450 floors are pie in the sky stuff because no one bought them. So the last time something actually sold, the market actually had a buyer, was 30 days ago, and now for 350 gems. Yeah. So those are glorious losses. If you take a look at this chart, you can see the glorious downtrend. And I call it glorious because I remember when we made that video, we had a lot of pushback. People didn't really want to accept that the future may involve more scarce items. Now, of course, it's not just that. The market at the time, from the NFT market, had loads of money. There was also off-app gems. There was also, credit card scams happening in the Veve market. There's all these different factors that were involved in it. But one of those that we definitely called on that video was the reoccurrence of 1000 mint comics. Sure enough, we live in a day and age where that's the case. So imagine just doing 88 mints over and over and over again. At first, it's going to work. It's going to sell the dropout. But as time goes on, you do that over and over again. It's all market cap based, right? But you slowly claw away at the market cap because people find less of a draw. Next thing you know, you have to go to 44, and then you just keep going lower and lower. But the lower the mints, the higher the price has to go in order to break even on the drop animation. Veve has to run their business. And then at what point is the price just too high that people no longer find it worth it? I think that the diehard user base is here to buy endlessly. They're here. They're going to just keep buying. So maybe a lower price, a lower mint, higher price actually works better for Veve in today's environment because they have a small user base that will spend as much as possible in order to do a good flip. And I just think it's not sustainable. In the meantime, though, they could keep doing these craftings. They can keep doing these scarce drop chase items. It's working for now. It's going to work for a little while. But ultimately, they cannot lose sight of the ultimate goal, which is utility in collectibles, utility-driven collectibles, utility-driven app. Only that will bring the masses, and only that will make people buy these things for reasons other than gambling and for reasons other than flipping.
Yeah, I think or
investment.
I think where I agree with Prop here is that this is a way to help maybe accelerate the sale of a drop to get to a certain market cap, if you will, because you have X amount of interested users in a drop. Their limit on spending might not be 15 to 20 gems. It might be 100. An example would be this Hulk 181 drop, FA Wolverine coming out. We know it's at $20. We know it's at 10,000 editions. What if they went $100 at 1,000 editions? You would get somewhere close, whatever. Like if you did the numbers where the market caps worked out and you had a more expensive drop, I'm sure that you'd probably sell it out for sure, because you would have 100 or 1,000 interested people, or people who would buy multiples to get you to that 1,000 editions. At 10,000 editions, at $20, maybe it's more of a gamble, or maybe people will just buy more copies. I don't know what we're going to see there. Probably will sell out just the way that the Veve fam is, but I think I understand where he's coming from with this, where he's saying raise the price for the scarcer things. But it's like we mentioned earlier, over time, it's not something that you're going to see stick, because we just saw that with 252. And if you keep coming out with 88 edition drops, it's going to be the same thing. They're going to have a sea of 88 edition collectibles on the app. And then that cost erosion is just going to be accelerated based off of your more expensive price now. So people, instead of losing from $20 to $3 or $4, it's going to be from $100 to $10 or $20. Like it's something that you're still going to see similar results if you keep diluting the market with similar type of items and no utility, no new reasons to hold, right?
Yeah, and I mean, people are going to be like, "Well, look at me. I'm one of 70 people that own this Spider-Man. Yeah. I'm one of the 70 people in the world that own this Spider-Man. But so what if there's going to be like hundreds of other Marvel Mighties that also have 1 out of 70. All of a sudden, your pool just got bigger. So, okay, you got the Spider-Man, but I got this guy. And the market will eventually find its new equilibrium, right, of what that means. Yeah. So it's not a sustainable model, but it's a model that Veve has to do because they lack utility in terms of their long-term like plans with these collectibles, because Reese did tell us that there is expect what you buy now is the best you're going to get. Maybe token gating in the future in some kind of Veveverse gamification. If the game is fun and it can pick up steam, might be helpful to kind of improve these existing collectibles. We have yet to see exactly how that's going to look and how interesting that's going to be. But they need to find ways to bring in better utility, I think, long term. That is the true solution to fix the super scarcity model.
I mean, if we know that third-party marketplace is on the way, if there's going to be some kind of self-custody on the way, if Veveverse is going to have some gamification on the way, then maybe they will have places in the Veveverse where holding multiples of certain collectibles will be helpful. Maybe you can stake those collectibles. Maybe there's going to be burn events where if you burn certain amounts of certain collectibles, then it leads to certain experiences. These are types of things that Veve could implement that would help them sell out drops. And the common theme is utility. Staking is a utility. You're staking to get access, or you're staking to get whatever, right? It's a utility. Burning is a utility. If you're able to have a burning event that leads to something else, that's a utility. This drop that's coming up with the Marvel Mighties, you burn the common, you can enter, if you're one of the first people to burn the common, you get the Peter Parker with the weird eyes. That's a utility. It's the beginnings, right? It's the beginnings of crafting to get into that. So hopefully they can figure out a way to do it with stuff that already exists on the app, because I think that that's even more important, that they can implement it on past stuff. Maybe they can't. Maybe there's a way that they can figure out to get around that all. But I think the more utility we see, the easier it will be for Veve to sell out, rather than doing any of these ideas where we're either cutting the mid sizes to super duper rare things, or we're having super expensive drops to make up the market cap.
Right. So curious to hear your thoughts. Why don't you guys let us know in the comments below, what do you guys think in terms of how Veve can sell out every drop? How can they do it? Let us know in the comments below. Do you guys agree with us that utility is the ultimate solution to selling out drops, or do you believe that you can continue with the gambling model and that's going to work? Before you go, don't forget, become a superstar, smash the subscribe button, join the superstar fam, hit the bell notification to get every single video every single day. Also, thank you to our VIPs, $2.99 a month. Start beside your game access, especially guys. Thank you so much. Take care. See you next one.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.